Preparing for today's speech, I started to reflect back on the journey that I have experienced being part of developing our agenda at IKEA over the last 10 years, which is also my time as the CEO of this company. On the one hand, I'm proud of what we have achieved. We have a wealth of dedicated co-workers who are contributing greatly in their everyday work to our environmental agenda. But I also feel a frustration that we still have so much work left to do to be able to say that we are a truly sustainable company. However, I have some hope that we will be able to speed up our efforts even further in the coming years. We are taking one important new step that we were not ready for until now. The environmental agenda has until now been developed as a separate strategy with a top-down approach. I believe this was necessary to get us to this point. Now, however, we have reached a level of maturity in the organization where the sustainability work can be truly integrated in our everyday business agenda and strategies. Sustainability is no longer an activity on its own, but it is totally integrated in everything we do. When we started to work 10 years ago, I felt like we in the management really had to push these issues into the organization. Today, I feel an enormous pressure from the organization on us in management. It has totally changed to increase our ambition level. And this is, I think, a huge difference that I would think and hope that many other companies experience too, and I think could be a real change driver for increasing sustainability efforts in companies at large. The way we are proposing to work with this now is that instead of having sustainability staff or specialists work with the environmental agenda and putting the strategies together the way we've done it in the past, we have really started with what we call an input to strategy. So instead of providing strategies, we give input to the organization, the different parts of the organization. And then we ask the organization to set their own objectives and strategies for reaching those objectives. It's tempting to set goals for the organization. But I figured with the commitment I feel in the organization today, I wanted to turn this around and ask the organization to set their own goals and set their own strategies. But sustainability is now at the heart of our product development strategy and our supply strategy. It's not something we have attached onto it when we started 10 years ago, because I felt there was a lot of greenwashing going around. A lot of companies were putting up all their ambitious plans, and I think it's very much in the IKEA culture that we say what we want to do and we do it before we talk about it. So for a number of years we have had a fairly low profile in this in order to produce results before we talk about it. So talking less about what we're going to do than what we are doing and have done has always been our key thing. I think now, as I have tried to explain to you today, we have a number of things we have actually accomplished that we can also talk about to the general public, and the time has come to be more public and transparent with the information. It is a bit of a challenge for us to find how to communicate this to the general public so that they actually access the information and read it. And it probably has to happen in the store, close to the products, in some way. It's not more leaflets, it's not more brochures being sent out, because we all know how well read or not they are. It's finding another way to doing that in the stores. And it is a priority going forward, is the communication strategy. And we have a lot of pressure also internally to do this. Many of our co-workers think we should speak much more loudly about what we do. Our co-workers are people just like you. They are extremely concerned about the planet. And there is a lot of pressure from them today that we should do things. I think, if anything, I think the risk is that I will disappoint them, because their ambitions will be so high that we will be having difficulties to deliver on them in the short term. And that can be, of course, a tricky thing if we have to go back to the organization and say that what you want to do is too much too fast for some reason that I can see. That in our case, I think that's the biggest challenge.